This evening we're running a little late because of our coverage of the closing stages of the Open Golf Championship. So now on BBC Two, Alex Cox introduces tonight's Moviedrome double bill.
The Duellists was directed by Ridley Scott in 1977. It's the story of two French hussars who engage in a series of affairs of honor at the beginning of the 19th century. It was produced by David Putnam, the man the Reader's Digest called the father of British cinema. So naturally it stars two Americans, Keith Carradine and Harvey Keitel, in the principal roles. It's great to look at, as you might expect, for Scott, here directing his first feature film, was one of the so-called Renaissance directors, a group of British TV commercial chaps who moved to Hollywood in the late 70s to make feature films. Other members of this august clan include Adrian Lyne, Alan Parker, Hugh Hudson, and Ridley Scott's equally talented brother, Tony. It's a little unfair to poke fun at the Renaissance gang. They didn't ask to be called that, and compared to the generation of British directors who came after them, the ones who earned their stripes directing pop videos, their qualifications are almost impeccable. Plus, let's face it, audiences like films like Flashdance and Mississippi Burning, which look like Hovis commercials or Billy Joel promos. Audiences, by which I don't mean the mad coterie of cult movie enthusiasts, but the vast throngs who turn out for Rambo and Days of Thunder, like their films to be as much like watching TV as possible. Try sticking a reel of Stranger Than Paradise into the middle of Top Gun. The punters will notice. They won't approve. The general tendency of what we call a culture is homogeneity, and if that goes against original and personal filmmaking, so be it. The Duelist is based on a story by Joseph Conrad called The Duel. Conrad is an author who fascinates and bedevils film directors. Orson Welles came to Hollywood determined to make a film version of Conrad's Nostromo, but was frustrated by delays and ended up doing Citizen Kane instead. Francis Coppola based Apocalypse Now on Conrad's Heart of Darkness. The late lamented David Lean died during production of Nostromo earlier this year. Yet the least effective parts of Apocalypse are those that try to cram the Vietnam War into a Conradian worldview. The story of The Duellists works pretty well. The script was by Gerald Vaughan Hughes, production design by Peter Hampton, and the sound recording by Hugh Strain are both very good. But in the end, it's an unengaging film, made according to a reliable formula. Get a couple of American movie actors for your leads, mix them up with a bunch of English character actors, boil and serve. At least the serving is attractive, and they're not your average Hollywood hunks. And if you sort of squint, you can imagine you're watching the outtakes from Barry Lyndon.